are officially live, I believe. So we are moving on to myth number 2 about homework. So today is the second homework myth. Today we're comparing homework to food. So I want to know, do you think of food, any particular type of food, when you think about homework for your teens? And the food that we're going to talk about today, the reason I'm asking, is because we're talking about lasagna. So that is the myth of the day, is that homework is not food. Okay? So I know some of you probably went the whole dog eats my homework thing, dog is eating my kid's homework. That's kind of, part of the inspiration, part of the joke, haha. But let's talk about lasagna specifically. And before we really get going, I want to apologize. My allergies and I are not friends today. And I also want to encourage you to join my Facebook group, Teaching Teens to Love Learning, if you're not already a member. So, lasagna, that is what we're talking about. And the two ways that lasagna immediately connects or relates, compares, however you want to say it, to homework is pretty simple. There are layers, there are varieties. Okay, so let's start with varieties. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not a big lasagna fan, but there are a whole bunch of different varieties out there. There's the vegetarian with, eggplant. There is chicken, there's beef, there's all sorts of different types of meats that you can put in lasagna. So, if you want to share what your favorite type is, I'd like to know. Maybe I just haven't discovered the right flavor. Maybe that's why I don't like it. It's really all about the ricotta cheese for me, so I do it 10 times better if I leave that out. But anyway, that's part of the variety. So your teens, when they're doing their homework, they're not going to have the same type of homework every single night. Okay, so that's kind of variety right there. They're going to have different homework for different classes. And in each class, they're also going to have different types of assignments. Now, I will tell you to make it easier on the teachers, sometimes make it easier on the students, because, I know a lot of students I work with as a study coach and as a tutor prefer routines. And I know myself, I'm a planner, so I like routines. But different homework, different varieties. Okay, so it might be a 10-page paper tonight in this class. It might be something tomorrow that's like an exit ticket that takes 2 seconds. It could be something that, your kid hasn't seen ever because it's the only time it's ever been assigned in that class by that teacher, let alone it could be something your teen has never had to do before. He's never had to draw a picture and label it, or he's never had to record a video. It could be something just absolutely brand new. So that is the first idea here, first thing I want to mention about variety. Now let's talk about layers. Now, I know we're talking about homework. Now we're talking about food. And you might be going, okay, Jessica, where exactly is the myth here? Why are we talking about this? And the thing is that this whole week we're talking about homework. And I know not a lot of teens like to do homework. Moms and dads that are watching, you probably can tell me your kid does homework, your kid doesn't do homework. It's a constant fight. He only does minimal effort. You probably have some thoughts, some feelings on homework for your teens, or even maybe for when you were in school, let alone what you wish your kids were currently doing. So let's talk about this here. Layers. So again, I don't love lasagna. Now, if there's no ricotta, when I make it, I don't ever put ricotta in it. And I can tell you too that there's the noodles, there's the sauce, there's the meat, the veggies, whatever you're going to put in there, there's the cheese. And each layer, to me, tastes very different, because if I put enough sauce on there, the noodles are all nice. But if I don't put enough sauce on there and I don't put it out evenly, the noodles on the top sometimes are almost crunchy, whereas the noodles on the bottom are really, really, I don't know why it's such a bad word, but so moist and saucy and cheesy. And to me, those are the best. But unfortunately, sometimes too, they can kind of develop a different texture because they are on the bottom, and depending on what pan and what, foil and whatever you use to stop the sauce or the noodles from sticking. So point being, the first problem of your kid's homework assignment might be like those crunchy noodles, or the really cheesy, really rich. Whereas the very last question could be like the noodles, the saucy stuff at the very bottom, the best part. So do know homework is designed generally to get your teens warmed up. That's kind of what I think about. And, like on math, especially, you start with the questions that are pretty simple. And then by the time you get to the end of the assignment, you might have that word problem. A lot of worksheets, a lot of textbooks. That's how they design it. They want you to know the basics, and then they want you to put it all together. So your teens need to understand that if they're struggling with that top part of the homework, then there's a good chance that bottom part, when it gets more complicated, when you're starting to do that critical thinking aspect and putting stuff together, no longer just A to B, that's going to be tougher. Okay, so if your teens are doing really well at the top, that's amazing. It's going to encourage them. It's going to give them confidence. But if they're struggling with the top part, first layer, then that's probably only going to get worse from there. So I'm hoping this has made sense, guys. Again, if you wanted to share with me what food you think of when you think of homework, I would love to know. If you have a favorite type of lasagna, I want to know. And we are live on Facebook and on YouTube right now. So if you're not already a subscriber or follower, I encourage you to fix that, because there will be live videos the rest of the week about myths related to homework. Now, if you have some questions about the comparisons I was making between homework and food, definitely would gladly answer them. Like I said, I know with my allergies, I'm sort of here, not really here. That lovely time of year where, allergy meds are in my system, and then I got cold. So then, waiting for things to sort themselves out. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I would love you in my group. If you're not already a member of my group, all you gotta do, click the link in the description, answer a couple questions, and you will be in. I do have a secret. I do have a number one tip I'd love to give you guys in my group about getting your teens to do their homework. So definitely join my group so you can get that secret, that number one tip. And again, just encourage your teens to think about the fact that homework can have and does have lots of variety, which is why it's comparable to food. And I also encourage you to think about the fact that there are lots of layers to homework, and pretty much just have to start at the top, work your way to the bottom, and those first problems, like I said, are most generally the easiest, and that's where I encourage your teens to start, because you're not really going to make it to the bottom unless you get those first ones done. So have an awesome night. I will see you tomorrow for the next myth, and I'll hopefully see you in the group so I can share that number one tip. Bye, guys.